Doug is from Ireland, but he's joining us right now from Tenerife in Spain. And he is known as a performance optimizer. And he's going to be talking today about conscious living and creating your passion and purpose in your life.
I'll introduce with everything. So
Go ahead.
Just firstly, a massive thank you for everybody who's come today. Thank you so much for coming along. I hope you really enjoy the time. I had a really good time last time when we did it. And I have to say that both Gosha and I can only do our talk, and then we're doing our fun room. And because we're on holiday, we're then going out for dinner afterwards. So apologies, it's a little bit later here. So yeah. So firstly, I am going to just ask a couple of questions.
And who are you, Doug? Who are you? Who are you? What makes you the expert that you are?
Well, in terms of introduction, I spent 21 years in the investment world, working my way up from customer service to board director and head of sales and marketing of two of the biggest fund managers in the world. And during that time period, I became a government certified fund manager, government certified investment advisor. And then I had a near-death experience, which I'll discuss in a minute, in 2012, which basically completely changed my life. And since then, I've become a life coach, healer, master teacher, healer of 5 modalities of healing, which includes Reiki, Sakim, bioenergy healing, quantum healing, and magnified healing. And then I do a lot of meditation coaching and everything like that as well. So I generally work with the people such as Dell, as in Dell Technologies. I work with their SVPs, VPs. I work with the likes of Facebook, Salesforce, Okuko, which is the biggest software support company in the world in terms of the optical lens industry. I work with their CEO directly. And I also work with Microsoft as well. And then I do individual clients. I even had a client who, I'm a massive Star Wars fan, and I have a Hollywood client, who's a Star Wars actress and Star Trek actress, and then her husband also is one of my clients as well, who's a multi-millionaire real estate guy as well. So I work with lots of different people, and I work helping people either with everything really, in terms of relationship coaching or business coaching or performance coaching, whatever it might be. I do a lot of work in terms of board consultation, helping people in terms of if there's any board confrontation or anything like that, in terms of making sure they focus on what they want rather than what they don't want. And generally, if you have a look at my LinkedIn, you'll see there's about 54 different LinkedIn recommendations there from the results of the people that I've worked with. So don't trust me, what I say, have a look at those results, and please feel free to contact any of those people whatsoever, so you can find out, what I've done with them as well. And there's people on there that I've worked with, such as, Stuart Lancaster, who used to be the actual England rugby team, international rugby team manager and coach as well, and many other people there as well, CEOs and many business owners as well. I also help people with presentation skills, helping them in terms of if you got your own business, especially holistic type business, and you want to put a presentation together so you can, one, sell your business, but also make money in terms of being paid to speak as well, like myself. I'd be a pleasure to help you as well. So that's just a little bit about me. In terms of the talk, the question I always ask people is, how many of you out there, put a yes in the box there, in the chat box, if you've ever struggled getting out of bed going to work. If you've ever knocked that alarm 5 or 6 times, trying to put it back on snooze before you're able to get out of bed and drag yourself into bed, drag yourself into the office and stare at the screen all day, wondering what on earth you're doing there. Yeah, I can see there's a yes from Sherry. I'm sure there's a few other people as well who've had, that similar experiences where you just struggled with that energy in the morning. It's some way or form. Let's face it, we all have. I certainly did. And I really struggled, I have to say. And it's amazing, and we're on holiday now at the moment. And yet, Gosha and I were packing till about, I don't know, whatever time it was, just before we went to sleep. Probably only had about 3 or 4 hours sleep. And yet we both sprung out of bed, sprung into the taxi, sprung into the airplane, and sprung into the swimming pool over here with loads of energy, because we are aligned to something that we enjoy and love doing. And that's the secret of life. It's to be able to find out what you truly love doing, what your true purpose is in life, in order to create that energy out of nowhere. Because let's face it, I'm sure some of you, right, you probably had relationships that may have broken down in the past, and you might be moping in bed for a little bit of time, when you got no energy whatsoever, and you're slumped there in the bed, no energy, and suddenly you get a text from your ex, and suddenly the energy goes boom, and you're up and you're excited. So how can we get into a state every single morning when we wake up with an excitement of what we do, when we're living our true purpose in life and we're connected to our true self as well? And what I always say to people is to write down 5 things that you love doing, 5 things that you're good at doing, and 5 things you can add value to people as well. And find a match within those, and then you might end up finding that you're never actually having to work a day in your life. Now, I'm not saying that's easy, because I didn't do that. I was working in the investment world. I was earning a lot of money at that point in time, but I wasn't happy. I truly, I had every single toy you could possibly imagine. I had more than one house, which I owned with no mortgage whatsoever, and I still wasn't happy. And it took them, the universe was telling me, giving me little messages all the time saying, come on, come on, come on, you're not doing what you're meant to be doing. And I wasn't listening. And in fact, in 2008, what happened was I ended up, 2008, I'm sure you all remember 2008, it was quite a hard time for a lot of people. And I really suffered from stress, because we lost loads of business. I mean, I had to lay off loads of my staff. And at that point, being an empathic guy, I felt really, really bad about having to lay them off. And at that point, I went from ailment after ailment, doctor after doctor, specialist after specialist, 2 operations that went wrong. And then I went through 3 years of chronic pain where I was waking up sometimes 10 times in the night, like I was being punched in the stomach. And then in 2012, when I thought nothing could get any worse, I suddenly had a near-death experience. And actually, 2012 was my best year, because actually, in terms of business time, it was my best year, because I actually had grown an asset management business from 50 million per annum sales to 1.75 billion per annum sales in 2012, which was great in the business sense, but in the life sense and the stress sense, it got so bad that at the end of 2012, in September 2012, when they said the Mayans said the world was going to end, it actually did for me. I got something called the neurovirus, and after 10 days of serious dehydration, where my electrolytes were almost down to 0, I was rushed to hospital, and in the ambulance, ECG said, like, heart, blood pressure doubled, arrived into A&E, I was rushed down to X-ray, and on the way down to X-ray, suddenly the lights came on. And I was encapsulating this amazing feeling of love, energy, and connection, nothing like I'd ever felt before. And obviously I came back, because I wouldn't be speaking to you now. And at that point then, I didn't know what to do. And I came out of it and I said, look, I've had this spiritual experience. I need to do something to give back to the universe or God or whatever you believe in some way or form. So I'd heard that there was this Alpha course, which was a religious church course, Christian church course. And Bear Grylls, who's one of the top kind of inspirational guys, and I'm sure you've heard of Bear Grylls, had done it. So I thought if it was good enough for Bear Grylls, it's probably good enough for me, because he's an ex-SAS guy, which is the same as the Navy SEALs. So I went and did the Alpha course, and obviously they're talking a lot about Jesus and all that kind of stuff. And I wasn't sure if it was for me, because when I was encapsulating that amazing feeling of love, energy, and connection, I truly feel, in fact, I truly know that love energy would never alienate or discriminate against anybody in this world. And I truly believe now that religions are like rivers to the sea being God, universal energy, Allah, your own subconscious, whatever you believe in, it doesn't really matter. And all those rivers are beautiful in their own right. It's just about getting to that sea. And at that point, I told them that, and they said, well, that doesn't really sound like Christianity, so maybe you should go and do something else. So I walked out, I didn't know what to do, and I said to the universe, I said, give me a sign, because I need to know whether I should be doing this. And 2 days later, I was helping a friend of mine in terms of cancer. He had prostate cancer, and I was helping him. And I said to him, I said, look, it's all about mind, body, and soul in terms of curing yourself. And I said to him, look, we've done a lot of body stuff in terms of nutrition, exercise, and rest, and everything like that. We've done a lot of mind stuff in terms of positive thinking, in terms of focusing on what you want rather than what you don't want, and everything like that. We haven't done anything soul-like. And maybe you should do this, course that I'm thinking about doing. And I think that was the first time I ever showed faith to someone else in terms of, spirituality or anything like that. And that day I was then going out running. I used to play National League, Premier League hockey, which is the same equivalent as playing for, say, Barcelona or Real Madrid at the highest level in terms of hockey. I used to coach and captain internationals. And at that point, running along with my dog, suddenly my dog cut across me, never done it before. I went flying over the dog, landed and cut my knees and my hand to shred. Blood all over the place, slapped the dog's white, there's blood all over the dog as well. Went back home, and at the time I looked at my cuts, and the next day when they kind of healed a bit, I had in my cuts, I had 3 8s or 3 infinity signs, one there, one on my thumb and one on my hand. And between the 2 8s in my hand, I had the letters of the cross, INRI. And it was big I, big N, small r, small I. So it was like, Jesus of Nazareth here, not really king of the Jews, but get back and do that course. So I took that as the sign of, right, I need to go back and do that course. So I went back and did the course initially, got into religion to begin with, but still felt the rivers to the sea thing, that I still had to go and look at other things. So I started studying other religions as well, Jainism, Judaism, Islam, Buddhism, everything. I met the Dalai Lama, I've met many people in many different religions, understanding that they are truly beautiful in their own right. They're just rivers to the sea, different paths to the same thing, in my opinion anyway. So at that point then, having had that and having had that experience, I then started meeting a lot of spiritual people. And then at that point, obviously I wanted to heal myself as well, because I've had all these ailments in the past. So that's why I became a master teacher healer, initially of Reiki, and Reiki, the next level up then was Sakim, and then magnified healing. And then on the side, I did bioenergy healing and quantum healing as well. And now I put them all together to be able to help people in terms of healing. That's some amazing results in terms of my healing. If you have a look on my Instagram, you can actually see there's a lady who's a European attorney, trademark attorney, and she had long COVID. And she came for a healing, and she does this video, like it's not me telling you, if you look there, you can see the video. And she had long COVID. She was really suffering from a lack of energy. She was suffering from massive like brain fog and a drain, not being able to focus. And I did the healing, and now she's got immaculate focus, immaculate energy, and she's back to full health as well. And I help a lot of people in terms of a holistic overall approach in terms of CEOs as well, in order to optimize their energy, to optimize their performance. And that is all about mind, body, and soul as well. Soul obviously being healing, affirmations in terms of prayers, but also meditation as well, which we can talk about later on. So what really we need to do then as well is have a look at us overall in terms of, we are basically, we're spiritual beings living a human life, and let's face it, it's important to make sure your energy is optimized to that optimum ability. And how can we do that? I always say, because I got my radio show, and as I said earlier on in my radio show, I literally have had the most amazing people in the world. I'm sure certain of you have seen The Secret film. I've had half the people of The Secret film on my radio show. And then I became friends with them, and they've invited me over to America and all over Europe to actually help and be on stage with them, and actually then speak as well. And I've spoken to some amazing events with some amazing people, New York Times bestsellers, film stars, amazing people. And I've become friends with them. And then actually my book, which is coming out very soon, it's got two names. It's got a kind of a masculine name, which is High Performance Success Without Stress, and then a divine feminine name, which is, it's stepping into the best version of yourself as well. And I've got testimonies there with Dr. John Demartini, who's in The Secret film, Lisa Nichols, who was in The Secret film. She was on Oprah, Larry King, and many others. Stephen Covey, and then some other amazing people as well. And it's just been amazing how I've been able to manifest all these different things through just learning all the different things I had through healing and everything through the coaching as well. And one of the things I say is that I truly believe that you can manifest anything you want in your life. You can make anything you want to happen in your life if you truly know you can, and you focus on that as well. That's some amazing results. Even I'll just give you a couple of examples. So I was engaged to a different girl a few years ago, and when I went to buy the ring, I came back, my mum told me, "Have you got the ring?" I said, "Yes." And now I was practicing all the things that I'm going to talk about at the point in time. And my mum said, I'm excited. And I said, "Oh yeah, Mum, she's got this middle finger ring, which I wish she didn't have." And that came from the heart at the time. And I got back, and within half an hour, she flashed under that middle finger ring. And then obviously I was able to put mine on the other finger as well. So what I'm saying is that that's kind of thing to me. It's amazing what she lived it. She went so nice. And my daughter was married, and we were arguing, and I said, "I've never seen her and funnily enough, rational engagement. So it really shows absolutely anything if you really focus your life as well. And I will say, if you do this, if you're playing grateful statements, as if you've already had it. And actually, it's funny, when I went on the radio show, people knows that the radio show is talking about my near-death experience. Someone said to me, "You have a good voice for radio, you're a radio show." So I started doing a manifestation of two things. One, I had I am grateful statement that I am grateful for inspirational speakers speaking to millions of people around the world in order to touch their own hearts so that they can connect to their true self, their higher self, their best self, in order to complete their true mission in life. And I also had another I am grateful statement that I am grateful that I have my own radio show as well. And then I suddenly got my own radio show.
Hey, Doug.
Yeah.
Can you check your mic? Is echo is coming in your sound? Can you mute and then unmute? Can you mute your mic and then unmute? Yeah. You try that.
Is that better? Is that better?
Yes, it's better. It's better.
Okay. Okay. So So in terms of my radio show, what I did was I ended up having my 2 I am grateful statements. I went and spoke to the CEO of the radio show, and the CEO actually said to me, what do you want to call the radio show? And I didn't know what to call it. So I said, well, maybe we call it the Mindful Millionaire, because I've been in the stock market working there for 21 years, and now I'm into mindfulness and meditation. And he said to me, you know what, Doug, that sounds a bit pretentious. Why don't you call it Inspirational People, Inspirational Stories? So my 2 I am grateful statements became 1 in terms of the manifestation, because I became an inspirational speaker speaking all over the world, but also on top of that, I got the radio show as well. So it really shows that you can create anything you want in life. But how do we make that happen? And on my radio show, I use the acronym of MAKE all the time. And that's in terms of mindset, in terms of motivating yourself, and motivate the people you work with, and then motivate your clients if you're selling something to buy as well. Secondly is actions and activities, and that's understanding where you are and where you're looking to go to in life. And actually, in terms of that, quite often people are trying to solve problems in the world, but the problem is they talk so much about the energy of the problem, the past, they can't get themselves out of that energy from what they don't want to what they want. So it's very important in all aspects of life to let go of those energies that don't serve you, so you can release those energies, emotions, in order to focus on what you want rather than what you don't want. In terms of the MAKE acronym, K is for knowledge, but it's also knowing. So knowledge in terms of if it's a business, it's know your client, know your product, know your industry, and match your client needs to your USPs. Or knowing is having a knowing faith or getting into the knowing state yourself. And I always say in terms of a knowing state, let's face it, if I ask Sherry, what her name is, and you don't need to answer Sherry, and then I'm going to say, she's obviously going to say Sherry. I'm going to say, Sherry, do you think your name is Sherry? Sherry, do you believe your name is Sherry? Or do you just know it? You know it, right? So know what you want in life, and regardless of the ups and downs, know you're going to achieve it. And then finally, E is for energy. And if you, as I said, if you optimize your energy, you can optimize your life in all ways and form. The question is, how do we do that? And I have another acronym which links into the MAKE acronym, which is all about, I truly believe that we come down to this planet as a being of light. And our job is to connect to our true self, our higher self, our best self, in order to shine that light in the best possible way. And how do we do that? Well, I'll tell you the best way you could possibly do that, because this is only a small snippet of my longer course, which is at training.dougdgordon.com. And it's https://training.dougdgordon.com, which, as I said at the start, is normally $1,000, but I'm giving it away for $200 only today, just for you guys. So, but how do we get into that best possible state? It's all about gleaming your light. And my GLEAM acronym firstly starts with G, which is for gratitude and giving to others. And gratitude we talk about all the time, but why is it so important? Well, I've got 2 children and it's Christmas next week, right? So if I give them a present and they're not grateful, do you think I feel like giving them anything else? Of course not, right? So why would the universe, God, or even your own subconscious make you feel worthy enough to receive anything else if you're not grateful for what you have now or what you've received in the past? So truly be grateful for all that you have to open yourself up to receive more as well. Giving to others is one of the greatest gifts you can give to yourself. And actually the greatest gift you can give to others is actually the gift of presence. And that's why the word gift and presence is the same thing. So if you can truly actively listen to the other person, it's amazing how important it is to create a bond with that other person, to create a positive relationship with the other person. And you know me, I love words, right? And the word relationship is interesting. If you have a look at the word relationship, it's got 3 parts in my viewpoint. There's the ship at the end. And in terms of relationship, a ship goes in a direction from port to port. So it's important in terms of relationship that you're both in the same boat. You're both going in the same direction in terms of where you want to go in the relationship. Now, the shun bit in the middle is the conditions. It's the expectations in the relationship. It's the values in the relationship. And it's the needs in the relationship as well. And then the start bit is the relay. It's in terms of communication. And that communication is all about being able to, 1, voice what your needs and expectations and values are, and then listen actively to the other person as well, so you can create that best possible relationship. And that's why the greatest gift you can give to others is your true presence, your true ear, and actively listening to another person. So that's the G of the GLEAM acronym. The L is for letting go, and that's letting go of those energies that don't serve you. They can be anger, resentment, lack of forgiveness, guilt, but also those parental programs that don't serve you. And I have a program on my training.dougdgordon.com that actually will help you get rid of those parental programs that you might be playing as well. and somewhere for. L is also about learning, new things every day, but also learning from the hardships in life. Let's face it, I had that near-death experience, but that near-death experience has helped me grow, to learn, to evolve, to become a better version of myself. And without that experience, I wouldn't be here now. So if you reframe every single hardship that you've ever had in life as a positive learning, and then you can utilize that learning to help other people in some way or form. So it's so positive in that respect as well. And actually, I truly believe in reincarnation. I believe that we come back to this this world again and again and again, as I said, to learn, to grow, to evolve, to become better versions of ourselves, each individual time, or to learn from the karma that we had in previous lives as well. And based on that, I truly believe if you're having a really tough time, if you're going through many hardships in life, maybe pat yourself on the back, because maybe you've played this game of life so often that actually this time around, you're just playing it to a higher level, an ultimate level, to see if you can get through those hardships and learn from them, and then teach other people so they can go through them in a smoother fashion. And that's what I truly believe is the meaning of life. The meaning of life is to learn from all the experiences that you have and help people in terms of raising their consciousness so they can go through them in a smoother fashion. Because let's face it, at 94 years of age, you're not going to look back at about how much money you've accumulated or the wealth that you have. You're going to look back at the legacy you left, in terms of legacy of love and legacy of positivity on this planet. And that comes down to the simplest things of touching people's hearts through a kiss you give, a hug you hold, and a kind word that you pass on. And by doing that, in terms of raising your own consciousness through self-love and emotional intelligence, then in turn, you can use the ripple effect of that, of raising the consciousness of everybody you touch as well and meet. So really important to let go of all those energies. E is for exercise and energy. We talked about optimizing your energy earlier on. That's what we're talking about. But E is also for emotional intelligence. And I truly believe that emotional intelligence is one of the most grounded forms of consciousness. And in terms of emotional intelligence, it's all about self-awareness, self-regulation, empathy, compassion, social skills, and being able to motivate yourself to be the best version of yourself as well. And then A, in terms of GLEAM acronym, is all about awareness. And it's about awareness of the flaws that you have in order to have that awareness and acceptance in order to implement neuroplastic change. Because let's face it, if you're not aware of the flaws you have and you don't accept that they're truly in you, how can you change, right? So again, as I said earlier on, in my online course, I have a system in place that you will learn how to be able to get rid of those traits that don't serve you. So you can focus truly energetically on what you want rather than what you don't want. Because too often we get triggered by people in our lives, different interactions, and that makes us focus on what we don't want rather than what we truly want. And then finally, M. M is all about meaning in terms of sense of purpose, but also meditation. And meditation, let's face it, we all know about meditation, and I'll be doing a meditation in my fun room later on, which will be after Gosha speaks after this. And the meditation that we talk about is all about connecting to your true self, your higher self, your inner self, but it's also about reducing stress to increase energy for life, and also for focusing on what you want and focusing on the steps to get there as well. Visualization is so powerful in terms of the imagination of exactly what you want in the future in terms of your wishes, goals, and dreams. And then finally, in terms of meaning, meaning is all about creating a sense of purpose, a sense of love for what you do, a love for the people you work with, a love for the product or service you have to give, and a love for the people you serve as well. And I also say in terms of acronyms, love means lots of vibrant energy. So if you optimize your energy, you can optimize your life. And remember, let's face it, everything in life is energy. Thoughts are energy. Speech is energy. Thoughts lead to speech. Speech leads to actions. Actions leads to habits. And habits leads to destiny. So start with a positive thought and you'll end with a positive destiny. Or think smart, talk smart, work smart. And if you're really smart, you'll go onto my online course and buy it. I promise I can help you. Or if anybody wants to get in touch as well, I can help you anytime in terms of my coaching, one-to-one. I also do group coaching as well. And I can help people in businesses. I have my business side and my Buddhist side as well. And as I said, in terms of the business side, I grew a business from 50 million per annum sales to 1.75 billion per annum sales, and was in the national newspapers for that, called Big City Hitter in the Irish Independent and the Irish Times as well. So if I can help any people there or on the Buddhist side, on the healing side, it'd be my absolute pleasure. I'm finished speaking. If there's any questions at all, let me know. I'm here for a little while. I think I've got about 5 minutes left, and then I'm going to be handing over to Gosha Makes you hang around for go. She's absolutely incredible. I know I'm a little bit biased because she's my girlfriend, but she really is incredible. She spoke recently at the Global Women's Awards and the Global Women's Magazine to a massive amount of people and went down very well. So any questions? Pure silence. Sherry, are you still there?
Yes, I'm here. Yes, I'm
Cool.
here. Yes, thank you for your presentation. Give him a moment to exhale and just like, whoo, he's done, he's complete. Anybody want to raise your hand and ask him any questions and come to the stage? Or just, you don't have to come to the stage, just unmute yourself and ask him anything. Before we move him, up next is his girlfriend, Goisia, is going to be here, and he's going to be in the playroom at 2:30. And then you're going to be able to do some, activation, meditation, chakra balancing. He's a healer, guys. I don't want you to think like this guy is like outside of our league, because he's been able to help people make millions and billions of dollars, but he's a healer too. And he's an intuitive and he's a channel. So I just want you to let you know that like he's one of us, and but he can think on both sides of his brain.
Absolutely, Sherry. And just like as an example, Leah
Yeah.
McCann, if you look at my LinkedIn, Leah McCann, for example, is one of my testimonials on there, and the recommendations at the bottom. And I went in there originally to help him in terms of growing his business, and we did. I actually helped him bring in 100 million quid worth of business. But on top of that, his relationship with his wife was terrible. They weren't having much physical at all, and now they have loads of physical. The relationship with his eldest son was terrible, and now he has a fantastic relationship with his eldest son. He was overweight, and I helped him get into a really good fit state, because obviously having been in the fitness world and having been in the sports world, I was able to help him there as well. And energetically, he had a few things that I managed to get rid of. Because one of my key skills in terms of healing side, is to be able to I can basically clear out any negative energy and any karma that you might have. And I clear out a lot of houses and offices and everything like that. And I'll be doing, actually, what I'm going to be doing in the fun room in half an hour after Goshi's, I will actually be I'll be doing a clearing for anybody who wants it, clearing off your energy and then helping ground you with a special prayer, which you can record if you want, which you can utilize yourself. And then I'll be doing meditation. It's a chakra meditation to connect to your higher self, which is really powerful to help you manifest your goals, dreams, and wishes as well. So that's it.
Woof. That's it. You are on fire. I've noticed a little shift in you as well, as we've gotten to know each other. You're even more on fire. So are you offering any door prize for us today? You're our first
Yes,
speaker.
I will give. So for the closest person to the number, I think we do the usual number thing.
Yes.
So for the closest person to the number, I will give one free life coaching session. It can be anything. It can be anything to do with you can have healing if you want. I do distance healing all the time. If you want a healing, or you want to talk about your business or anything to do with life as well, I can help you. Relationship coaching is something also.
Beautiful. So how much time are you offering?
So that'll be an hour. That'll be an hour coaching session, which is normally worth $1,000 as well. So you can have it for free.
Wow. Well, guys, if you want to win an hour session, put a number in the chat from 0 to 100 right now. Wow, wow, wow. Lucky, 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 lucky. 0 to 100. He's going to write down on a piece of paper a number, and he's going to hold it up. Doug, put your number down on a piece of paper. Don't look at the chat. Going to have a $1,000 session with this amazing man. This is like worth the whole day in itself. And he's quite generous too. So he'll work something out with people that are not the closest winners as well. But we want to make sure we don't take away from his lovely lady and get her on the stage. So, okay. So we're going to do a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If anyone is listening to us right now on Facebook or YouTube, you need to be here in the Zoom in order to win. Oh, they're still putting in their quotes. You have to be a non-practitioner, meaning if you're a speaker, then you're gonna have to work something out with him. This is for the guests only, and you can only win one prize per day. Okay, we'll do a 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And what is your number, Doug?
22. 22.
Robin McCormick.
Robin,
had-
I actually think I know Robin. Robin, yeah. So Robin, just get in touch with me on either LinkedIn or Facebook or whatever. Give you a free session. We can discuss anything you want, anything at all. Also, I've got 22,000 connections on LinkedIn. A lot of them are venture capital people, but some of the best speakers in the world as well. So yeah, fantastic. Brilliant, Robin. Okay, so yeah, so that's my pleasure. I won't hold up any longer. I can't hang around later on, guys, so please get in touch with me offline, Instagram, Facebook. I'm all on there all over the place. LinkedIn. Sherry, thank you for the floor. Everybody, thank you for coming along. Thank you for participating. And you're in for a treat because this lady is amazing.
Oh,
Yeah, Paso, beautiful lady.
You guys are so cute.